Welcome to Talkin' Entertainment from Rip City with Brandon Laws and Dan Zeal. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes and Stitcher, or you can follow us on Twitter at TE from Rip City. Enjoy the episode.
Hey everybody, Stan coming back at you with a much anticipated Terminator Dark Fate conversation that Brandon and I hinted at in our last podcast. I know it's a little overdue, but hopefully by the time you guys get a chance to go see it, either by the time it makes it home or in theater. So just kind of give you some quick thoughts. Thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Really liked it. Left the theater wanting to see it again. Movie had a lot of good action, a lot of good pacing, a lot of great set pieces. Some things you don't see too much in a lot of the Hollywood movies that come out, especially like in the Fast and the Furious and Hobbs and Shaw movies that we've got right now. A lot of the same kind of stuff that's overdue. Everything that they did pretty well. It was very reminiscent to some of the first two Terminator movies, which is kind of a good segue into where this movie really stands. So this is the first movie that James Cameron has kind of helped produce in the series. I wasn't really involved in the last three that were in theaters, and it kind of showed. So this movie actually retcons basically everything that happened post Terminator 2. Kind of picks up present day, years later, and we don't really know what's going on. We just have we're introduced to new Terminator, new human who's enhanced, and we get some backstory later on. The new human's name is Grace, and she's kind of sent to protect. Forgive me, I'm forgetting her name, but basically the new John Connor of the series. Just kind of having a conversation right now about the newcomers. Grace was pretty good, kind of enjoyable. She kind of wasn't really too impactful early on, but as you get more backstory later on, you do kind of get a better feel for where she's coming from, and her role in the future and her role in the series moving forward. And then Gabriel Luna, who if you had ever watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on TV, played the Ghost Rider in that one. He was actually the new Terminator. And the thing I think they did well was they actually gave the Terminator a little bit more sense of humor and a little bit more character in this one that kind of made it a little bit more enjoyable and more kind of present day, as far as in the past when it you didn't really get to see that. Arnold had his moments, but they kind of made it a little bit more current with movies now. So that was enjoyable. Kind of the big spoiler that happened in this is a lot of people ask me, how do they kind of incorporate everything, like where's John Connor, where's Sarah Connor, all this stuff. So about 1/3 into the movie, when they kind of introduce Sarah, they explain where she's been this whole time, and they actually show they kill off John Connor pretty early in this one. So kind of a heavy scene. You don't really expect that to happen because they kill him when he was younger, basically right after Terminator 2, and that explains where Sarah Connor's been the whole time, and kind of reintroduce her. And then they also use that to establish Arnold's character and his whole aging process, and he's been hiding basically as a Terminator, figuring out how to live after his mission's been done. So that's kind of where it goes from there. And then, the general idea after that is to protect the new Sarah Connor girl. And that's basically the whole movie. A lot of good action set pieces after that. Obviously all the kind of the good heartfelt beats that you'd see and the sacrifice in these movies. But overall, I really enjoyed it. It's kind of disappointing that it didn't do so well in theaters. I think kind of the idea is that, there's been so many movies like this, and then, considering how the last two Terminators didn't do too bad, as I just think that we've gotten to the point where people have seen so many of them that it's kind of hard to kind of gravitate to. And, just like, Spider-Man, Batman, we've all seen kind of the same frickin' story being told. So I think that was part of it. And just the generation, we've had so many different takes on the bots taking over the world and the AI taking over the world. The Matrix being, pretty relevant. Ex Machina, Alita, all that sort of stuff right now. So it's kind of disappointing, but I did think that it was a fantastic movie, and I hope that they get a chance to do some more, and I would like to see that in the future. So if you get a chance, Terminator's it's a fun movie, especially one that if you go see in theater, it's enjoyable. So I hope you get a chance to check it out. All right, if you have any questions or anything, hit me up on Twitter. I hope you enjoyed this. I will be coming at you with a couple more here pretty soon. Got some quick thoughts on Dr. Sleep, and then video game review for Jedi: The Fallen Order. All right, talk to you guys later. Peace.